Dude, I'm doing really, really, really good. Kroot, baby Kroot. I love Kroot. I've been painting Kroot nonstop. We'll talk about my hobby
Ruh-roh.
progress in a little
Ruh-roh.
bit.
Chat says there is no sound. We're good? All
We got
right.
sound. Okay,
Tech
there we go. We
Breeze
got
fixed
sound.
us.
Seth was just asking me about how excited I am about my new current painting project. I guess I'm Kroot. I've been loving it. I've been having a lot of fun painting Kroot. They are fun. They're, I don't know, kind of making them look feral and stuff. Just having a lot of fun with that.
Mhm.
Seth, we should probably tell people that it's a very important day right now.
It
Should we
is.
just
It
go right
is.
into this? This
Let's
is a
do it.
very, very important day. We want to wish our good friend Peter the Falcon a happy birthday, man.
Caw-caw! Happy birthday, Peter.
Happy birthday, Peter the Falcon. He is the stats master, the OG stat dictator guy. He learned
Yeah.
everything and
He's the
anything as
godfather of
the
stats, you would
god.
say.
There we go, the godfather of
Yeah.
stats. So thank you so much, man. You have done a lot for this community, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you at LVO.
Yes, dude, totally, totally. We should also tell people, if you're listening to our podcast right now, remember we film live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You get to see our visual, additions to our show, and more importantly, you get to jump in and chat. And we have a very lively chat tonight. Hi, guys.
We do.
We love seeing y'all. Seth, what have you been up to? Because I know that you were pretty busy doing some I guess.
Yeah, so I did hobby progress,
Yeah,
but
it
not
counts.
in
It
the
counts.
form that you would think of. I had a very
Wow.
disorganized closet, as you can see on the image to the left.
Wow, that's bad, dude.
It's
Guys,
real
for those
bad.
of
It's real
you,
bad, Kicker. And
it's
you and I have been talking off air about both of us trying to start Votann when it comes out, so that we
yeah.
can do kind of a side by side painting project.
Oh, we're doing
Um,
twinsies. We're doing a
we
twinsies
are.
army. Yeah.
And I was like, man, my hobby room is a disaster. I need to organize it. As you can see, I had lots of closet space, but it wasn't well organized. So actually, on
It looks like you have
Labor Day.
everything for the people like listening to our show. You basically have closets with shelves, but nothing's on the shelves. Everything's on the floor at the
Well, no, the
base of the
shelves are
closet.
only those little like side shelves.
Oh, that's
This
it?
was like a closet rack designed for like hanging clothes,
Oh,
not
yeah,
for
you need to
storage.
put more shelves in there. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I put it in shelves, brackets, and mounted shelves, so I can store everything very nicely. I still have this disaster pile, which is my work desk and my airbrush station next to it. I still got to get that sorted out, but I've at least made room. I can now walk in the room, which is a huge improvement. So,
Congratulations. That's huge.
yeah, so just plugging along there. So,
Oh, I love it. You got to
anyway,
wonder why people build, these stupid closets designed to hold like clothing and crap like that, right? To hang clothing. They should just all
it's
have shelves for miniatures because that's what we all
exactly,
have, right?
exactly. I know that this is supposed to be a little bedroom. It's a tiny room, by the way. Like it's like you're not seeing it very well in the photos there, but this room can't be more than like 10 by 10. Like it's not a big bedroom. Like you put one of your you put your kid in there, Kicker, and he's gonna be bouncing off the walls
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah. Okay, so I got a question for you, man. You clearly have your dedicated hobby space. Does your wife have her hobby space or her own room that's kind of her sanctuary in the house, or is it
Yep.
because
Actually, right next to mine is the it's technically a guest room. It has a bed in it, but it's really her like
nice?
study school room that she hangs
Okay.
out in. So
Cool, because
yeah.
I feel really guilty at our house. I have, a very large room dedicated to the hobby, and then I've got like my office at the house, and my wife has like the backyard to plant vegetables. But it's just like not fair. There's clearly not a fair division here at this household. So I feel really terrible about that.
Well, Kicker, why don't you
You-
get us into industry news?
Yeah, guys, we should talk about this. This is huge. The Kill Team release Into the Dark is coming up. You're gonna be able to get your miniatures this weekend. So if you pre-ordered them, they are live. You can order them right now. Pick them up on Saturday from your local store. They'll get shipped out on Saturday, guys. GW was very nice enough to send us an advanced copy of Kill Team. I've been painting it nonstop, and I love these miniatures. Can we show some photos? Yeah, there we go. Look at that. First of all, the box is ridiculously stuffed with. I mean,
Yes,
you
they
can see
always
photos of
stuff
sprues
those
there.
things full of sprue.
But this, because of the nature, I guess, of this Kill Team terrain, which is kind of the inner workings of a spaceship, or I guess a space Hulk, you have a lot of walls. So each one of those sprues are just like packed with just plastic wall component, I guess. So there's a lot of plastic, I guess, in this box. But when you open it up, it's pretty cool. You got I guess a full size sprue and a half sprue for Kroot, and kind of the same for the breachers. The Kroot, what they surprised, I think they surprised everyone. The Kroot can be built in multiple ways. Same with the
Oh,
breachers.
cool.
So the Kroot, yeah, you have a tracker model, which they showed photos of. It's the model with like a bird on the gun, but that
Mhm.
same tracker model could be built as a stalker model that is like badass, like Ninja Kroot. So like there's a lot of
Ninja
surprises
Kroot.
here. Same with the heavy weapons. They showed this one weird like giant heavy weapon thing, but you can also build it as a flamethrower style gun, I guess.
All
So
right.
there's a lot of fun surprises. Yeah, so
A lot
there's
of
my miniatures
options
there.
there. I
Yeah, a lot of
I like
options.
that because they the orc commandos that came in the other kill team
Yeah,
box, they basically were like you can put the special weapon or a slug a chopper and
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. This one, you little so like there's I think like half the models have 3 options, like
Oh wow.
standard weapon, special weapon A, special weapon B. It's pretty dang cool. And they have all the little accessories and stuff, a lot of different head options. It makes the original Tau crew just look like crap. Like
Yeah.
honestly,
Those
it
those
does.
are some older models that have been yearning for an upgrade,
Yeah.
so I'm looking
A
forward to that.
and so I've got the crew built. Breachers are next for me. Kill Team is something that I'm gonna be playing for the next few months, getting a hang of this new, I guess, edition, and
Mhm.
it so far looks amazing. I have my first game tomorrow. It's gonna be a learning game with somebody, but I will report back next week, and I'll try to report back constantly as I
All
as I
right.
learn more about Kill Team. Let's jump
Looking forward to
into
your journey, bud.
yes. Oh, yeah, dude, totally. I'm still playing 40K, don't get me wrong, but Kill Team just, for a little while. Seth, we should probably talk that GW's been pushing Lord of the Rings like crazy. I'm wondering if it's because
Yeah,
there's a TV show that just, that's
there is,
very
and
successful.
I my attention span for Lord of the Rings ran out at the end of Return of the King, so I never really
Wait,
enjoyed
at
The
the end of
Hobbit.
Return of the King, that was it? No more done.
Yeah, I didn't like the Hobbit stuff, but I've heard good things about the show. War or was it War for the Ring or
It's Ring of Power?
Ring of Power? That's
Yeah,
it. Okay, but yeah, I've heard good things about it. So yeah, I mean, definitely a reason for them to kind of push
yeah.
that IP. If more people are interested about it, I have always heard, and maybe Chad can tell me a little bit more, but I have always heard that the best tabletop game that GW produces is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I mean, the people that play it are fanatical. The problem is just there's just very few people. I mean, even
Mhm.
at our larger tournaments, it's not that many. The tables look gorgeous, the armies look gorgeous. People love the gameplay, but there's just not that big of a player base at this point. But with new Lord of the Rings, coming back on, and Amazon's making this a TV series, with
Yep.
Amazon pushing it, who knows? There might be a whole bunch of new excitement
Yeah.
behind it, and we can see Lord of the Rings take off. The rules are for free right now, or at least the starter rules have been
Oh,
released
that's
for free
cool.
by GW. Yeah, so you can kind of get a taste for how they play or how the game plays. We should also jump on and talk about this is kind of like, I guess, it is news. It's not really product news, but it's interesting, and I want to share this. Peachy, the very famous GW painter, he's been actually with GW for 20 years now. Yeah, Peachy, he is no longer going to be with GW. He's decided to transition and do something different on his own. From my I guess inside scoop from some people, it's all's good. Everyone's happy. He's just going off and doing his own thing. I think it was
That's
it was
cool.
premeditated. He's like, okay, I'm ready to try and do my own thing. So
Yeah.
Peachy will no longer be doing
Well, good
videos for
luck to you,
GW.
PG.
Seth, maybe you should go for them. Maybe you be GW's new spokesperson slash painter. Come on, do it, do it, do it.
If they could. What are
Oh,
you? What are you? Get out of here, corn boy.
oh, we
Okay,
got our
Yeah.
tech priest.
so you guys didn't talk about like the coolest part of
Oh
the
my gosh.
reveals the other
Oh my
day,
gosh.
About the
Seriously.
corn mutilators.
right? What do you think
Yeah.
those guys are? Come on, they're
That
big, they're
arm and
beefy.
chest very mutilator esque.
It looks pretty
I'd be interested
mutilator-esque, eh?
if someone if I haven't looked at the sprues actually. That should do. You should go look back at the sprues for the obliterators and see kind of how the arm and the chest piece go on and see if those
Oh, look at
pieces kind of
this.
match up.
Mm-hmm.
Sherlock Holmes of
Oh
the
yeah, I'm
community.
Sherlock
cracking this
Seth.
case.
Sherlock Seth.
Cracking the case, guys. But no, yeah, they have definitely previewed some of the bits for the new World Eaters that are coming sometime in the winter, according
Oh,
to
it's gonna be so
GW's
good.
timeline. So
Look at those
I'm
heads.
sure, I'm
Yeah.
sure any news that we have will be quickly broadcast on this show by our
Yeah.
lovely tech priest.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
he
just
does
keeping,
literally.
keeping everyone aware. Just
He's just,
yeah.
You're
just a
you're
public
not going
service
to let us
announcement.
forget they're coming.
These are coming. Well, yeah. So the new chaos corn army will come eventually. We know it.
Mhm.
It's just we got to wait a few more months.
You
But
got to
what
be
we
patient, Dickie.
but you know what we don't have to wait for, because some human being kind of spilt the milk. No, not spilt the milk. Is that I'm terrible with
Spilled
these
the
acronyms.
beans.
Spilled the
Spilled the
beans. There we go.
beans.
He spilled the beans. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a second generation immigrant. I'm not really good at Americanisms. Somebody spilled the beans on on the new
That's not an
Votann.
excuse, by the way, but okay.
Sorry. Okay. So this was not Frontline Gaming. This was somebody has spilled the beans on the Votann codex. Seth,
Yep.
explain what happened here.
Yeah,
Because
it is out there in the wild.
yeah.
Sources unknown. But it is out there. If some folks have seen it, some folks have had a chance to play games with it, myself
Seth, you
included.
can say that you've been playing, you
Yep,
saw it, and you've
yep.
got a game. Come on, give a little, give your experience on playing a game with the new
So
Votann.
I think there are definitely it's definitely got some cool theme to it. I like a lot of the thematic rules that they have going on, but there are some really strong combos, and I know you love your janky
Yes.
combos.
So got
Um,
hashtag jank of the week. This is the jankiest thing that we found on the internet in terms of how to play 40K. Seth, take it away.
there is a sub faction, a league called the Emir Conglomerate, and they basically have a stratagem that when you fire a beam weapon at a target, it does mortal wounds when it hits. And the beam weapon rules are basically you declare that my unit, my land fortress, is shooting your predator tank, and everything in between those 2 points gets hit unit wise
Everything.
if you succeed hitting the predator. So, and there's also a rule on those beams usually that over a certain distance they get an extra number of hits when they hit. So that two-shot beam on the land fortress hits the tank in the back in the opponent's army. So that's 4 hits now, and that's 4 mortal wounds from their strat. And then everything else in between also gets hit with that. It's like strength like 8 or something like that. Neg 3, 4 damage.
And to be clear, from because I have not seen the book. I mean, I know you've seen the leaks. I've seen kind of some of the leaks, but I haven't spent that much time on them. But the beam rule says that you don't even have to roll to hit those other wounds. As long as you hit
Yeah,
the target.
whatever. Like if I rolled, 3 dice and got 2 hits on my target in the back, everything in between takes 2 hits.
So that means, yeah, auto hits. So going straight to
Yeah,
wounds, man. Going straight to wounds. Wow.
yeah, and
Yeah, that's
there it
powerful.
gets it. There's a couple different strats to do mortal wounds using beam weapons, and you can use them all at the same time if you wanted. And there's ways to make some of those strats 0 CP. So it turns into a lot of damage output really fast. And if you are, say, I don't know, playing like orcs and you kind of rush forward at your target, and you have a bunch of crap piled together, and those beams cross that pile of crap, you're in big
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah. That's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough.
Yep.
Well, it is kind of janky. We'll see how it goes. Somebody leaked the codex, so we know people are already out there playing with it.
Mhm.
I am excited for this new codex. I think it's going
I
to have a
am, yeah.
unique play style. It is different, right? There's only so many minis. I mean, have you counted how many units are for this first? It's not that many. It's
There's
like
outside the
8,
characters, there's only like 5 data sheets. You've got no, 7 data sheets.
but it's very
You've got
few,
2
right?
heavy support, you've got the 2 elite, you've got troops, you got fast attack, and you got a dedicated transport. Yeah, 7 data sheets outside of characters.
So what's badass with this Voltan army, right, is you get to start now, and they're going to be adding stuff over the
Oh, yeah,
next year and a half.
definitely,
So it's something that
definitely.
you get to continually, you start off with just start off now, and you get to grow your army over the
Mhm.
next few years as
Yeah,
new
I
units
mean,
get
there's
released.
there's definitely some rules that I think they need to bring back in line. But once we get some of those tweaks back in line, I think there's definitely some really fun builds out there. So, um, I definitely don't think it's completely just unsavable, unsalvageable, but it's really strong. So just be ready for your short squat overlords standing on their tactical rocks for a short period while this codex comes out, guys.
Seth, it looks like the chat's jumping up all and down. I don't know if there's anything
Yep.
interesting. Are people happy with overall the first, I guess, taste of Voltan? Are people disgusted with it? People excited? What is the general
Depends.
feeling right
If
now?
you're playing Votann, you love the idea. If you're playing anything that doesn't like being shot, boy
Yeah.
howdy, have I got news for you.
Well, you and I as original Voltan players,
Yeah,
we go
long
way back, so
time
a long time.
original
So
Votann players here, both of us.
all right, guys. So I do want to talk about some of the frontline gaming events really fast. If you are going to the Las Vegas team tournament and you are the captain of your team or you purchase the ticket for your team, keep your eyes open for an email. This email is extremely important. This is going to have your tokens so that you can add your team into BCP. Lists are due this weekend. So look for that email from Frontline Gaming or BCP so that you can get your list in the pairing software. Also, if you're a bundle ticket captain, you should be getting it. You should have already gotten an email with your room confirmations. Those bundle tickets included 2 rooms. So get your that way you have your room confirmation numbers and everything there.
Good.
And remember, the team captains, they're the ones that are really key for this whole team tournament to work.
They're your point of contact. They're your
They are the point of
communication.
contact. Yeah, it's just so that we don't get bombarded with, every single member of every single team
Yeah.
showing up at registration. The team captain will get your challenge coins and your swag, and he'll give it all to the
Yep.
players and whatnot. SoCal. Oh, exciting news! Have you decided if you're going to SoCal yet, Seth? Please tell me you're going to SoCal. Come on,
I'm
come
still
on, come on,
leaving it
come
up in the
on.
air. I have some family issues that maybe
I
I'll talk
understand.
about later. But right now, I'm not making any solid plans for the future right now.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Well, there's always a bed or a sofa or a comfortable floor at our Airbnb in San Diego. So
All right.
but right. Well, so last year at
As long as it's
SoCal,
not a futon. In
as
my
long as-
mind, futon is code for you should probably just get a hotel. If someone's like, "Hey, I got a futon you can sleep on," that's them
you
saying
go to the hotel.
you should probably just go get a hotel.
So last year I was like I don't know, I'm the shortest guy. I don't know what the deal was, but everyone had a bed except for me. So I slept on the sofa in the Airbnb. It was like it was a very comfortable sofa, but I'm also like half the height of most human beings. So I could fit, it was more of a love seat really. So I could fit pretty cozily in there, but yeah, hopefully this year I get a real bed. Seth, so two thin coats of paint. That is a line of paint being made by Duncan Rhodes via Transatlantic Transatlantis Games. This stuff, every SoCal attendees that have Frontline Gaming Challenge coins are going to get a free bottle of this stuff. This stuff
Nice.
is just now showing up. The Kickstarter totally sold out. This is
Yep.
the first paint to go to non-Kickstarter backers,
Yeah,
I guess.
because I believe Duncan is very adamant about fulfilling his Kickstarters before
Yes.
selling the product elsewhere.
But he's giving us 100 bottles for us to give SoCal Open Challenge coin holders. So if you
Nice.
come to SoCal Open, you got a challenge coin. We've only got 100 bottles, but we want you guys to get this paint in your hands.
Yep.
And I guess we should just kind of talk about it now. Let's just do it. We have a brand new event that's in the works. Yes, I'm just doing the final details of the contract. I've also got some local boots on the ground in that area that are scouting out things for us, like literally today and tomorrow. They're going in, taking photos, taking measurements, making sure everything just makes sense for us. But it looks like FLG will be adding an event. This event will be in March. So you'll have, January's LVO, February's Cherokee, March is, I'm not going to tell you yet. And then you have May, which is BAO. So sit tight.
All right. We'll
I don't
have
want
to
to say
wait.
anything until we have the thing. Seth, why don't we go into the FLGN? What's happening with the rest of the network?
Well, yeah, the FLGN this week, the main thing was we had 2 episodes. One from Chapter Tactics coming out, where they were talking about prepping for the LVTT, which is a great discussion. And then Grim After Dark. Grim actually had a very interesting occurrence,
Okay.
and it didn't have anything to do with us, Kicker. They had advertised that they were bringing in a champion of Nova. And Nova has many
Champion.
events, as you know, Kicker, many events. And the person they brought on did indeed win 2 events at Nova. But in chat, one Jack Harpster showed up, who was the winner of the 40K tournament there, and was like, "I'm on the show. No one told me." But it was Evan Van Dyke from Separate Cult of Heroes, and it was a great show.
What was
They had a
he
good
the
chance.
champion of? I'm confused. What did
He
this
won, I think he won a Titanicus event and a Horus Heresy event.
guy? I mean, it still counts. It still counts.
Yeah,
was
he
a
won 2
champion in
events.
Nova.
He won 2
Congratulations.
events at Nova. That's 2 for Evan, 1 for Jack. I'm just
Jeez.
saying.
Clearly a more talented human being. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's been going on there. So check out that show if you want to see some fun. But let's get into our main segment tonight, Kicker.
Yeah, Seth, do you want to introduce it, or you just want me to jump into it? Or
Yeah, jump in, man.
So guys, we had this wonderful opportunity to talk with Duncan earlier today. Duncan is in the UK, so he didn't want to stay up till 3:00 in the morning, his time, to just talk with us. So we recorded this a few hours ago. But this is Duncan Rhodes, and you know him, you'll love him. Just check this segment out. We'll be coming right back in after the interview. Hey everyone, this is Kicker. We have Duncan Rhodes. This is Duncan Rhodes, the OG Warhammer TV painter, famously known for his 2 thin coats. Now he has his own very full line of paint products coming, hitting the road, I think, soon. And of course, he has his very popular Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy, which has become very, successful in the past few years. And now they're coming to the US for the first time ever to come to teach classes at the LVO. Duncan will also be paint judging at the LVO. I believe he's participating in a game or 2. And he's got a really fun seminar lined up for Thursday night. Duncan, man, thank you so much for coming on air. We really, really appreciate it. How are you doing? Are you excited? You've got a lot of things happening right now.
Yeah, a lot going on. Yes, thank you. It's great to be here. It's really great to talk to you. Hello to everybody. Yeah, we've just been having a regular week in the life doing our filming. So it's Tuesday time we're recording this, and we're halfway through our week's shoots. So we're at that point now where we're like, oh, I hope we finish in time. We'll be all right. But you always got a feeling every week. So it's nice, like, ooh, gets you focused.
So with your painting academy, you're recording every single week. It's new content being made.
That's right. Yes, we
Awesome.
film Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday every week, and then Thursday, Friday is our admin days to make sure we're on top of everything and ready for next week.
Oh, very cool. Well, before we get into like the deep meat of the interview here, we have to ask you a very important question. We ask all our guests here on Signals from the Frontline, what is your favorite sugary breakfast cereal? You will be judged very intensely based off your selection here, so choose wisely.
All right. Does it have to be cereal?
I mean, if you say granola or like grits or oatmeal, yeah, we're just gonna have to end this interview immediately. Come on, you got some fun cereals over in the UK. What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Oh, well, I don't really eat cereals really. I mean, bran flakes. I used to eat bran flakes.
Bran flakes.
How about when I'm in the States and I really like having that super like crispy bacon? It's not quite cereal, but it is sweet because I don't know what you do. It's really nice. Does that count? Is that okay?
You've heard it here first, folks. Duncan Rhodes' favorite brand of sugary breakfast cereal is called bacon.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I'll have some of that in a bowl. You don't have to worry about the milk.
All right, that's fine. We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. I mean, I will take bacon over bran flakes. I wasn't sure if the bran flakes was a basing material or what here. So okay.
Boring cereal. That's all I can think of. I don't really eat cereal.
I am a sugary breakfast cereal connoisseur, so I'm always curious about what our guest picks are.
Do you have Frosties over there?
We do. We have Frosties and we call them Frosted Flakes, but yeah, Frosties in the UK. But yeah, it's funny. We have some cereals that are very similar, but they're named totally different from what you guys have. But
yeah, really. My sister have Frosties every morning,
yeah,
and so she'd have them before school. She never finished them, and the bowl get left because everyone was gone out to school or work or whatever. And you get home in the afternoon, and they'd all gone soggy, and the smell lingers in my nostrils to this day. And so I can't stand Frosties or Frosted Flakes. So as soon as the milk hits them, it's like.
I will not be bringing you any Frosties when I see you at the LVO. Then, yeah. Duncan, I wanted to have you on here because you've been in the painting world of miniatures for a very, very long time. Maybe you can give us a little bit of your insight on the way that painting has evolved over the years in the hobby. I mean, how has it changed? Is painting easier now thanks to like the miniatures being more defined and and easier to paint because the miniatures literally are designed to make them easier to paint? There's also new painting tools or hacks, if you want to call, like contrast paint and some technical paints. How has the hobby changed for you? I mean, is it easier now to become a painter than ever before?
I think it is generally to actually do the mechanics of it. I think it's a lot easier than it was when I was a kid, because when I was little, if you looks at guides, the guides were all very bare bones. It'd be like step 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'd be between 3 and 4, and be like, how has that happened?
Yeah,
and you'd highlight the red with bleach bone. What? Yeah. That's not what's there. There's lots of things that are just as soon as someone goes, oh, you mix the colors. Oh, okay. Suddenly it all starts to come together. But back at that point, this just wasn't thought about.
Yeah.
Also, the paints weren't like they are now, where you have ones that are really pigment dense that are designed to color well. So you had to understand tricks. Like if you want to paint something with a bright red, you'd have to do it brown first of all, and then work your way up to that bright red. So you'd have to go through like 4 colors to get there. So in that respect, certainly, and with the addition of things like contrast paints, of course, it's got even easier because it can massive way of staining things to get colours quickly. Also, washers were quite a big revolution, I think, because it was inks before that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I used to use inks.
Yeah. The thing about inks is that if they get wet again, then they reactivate. So you'd put the ink on something to do shading, and then you'd start layering on top of it, and the ink would start moving again. So things like that you forget about, but when you really think back at it, it was kind of naff dealing with these tools. I think also the internet's revolutionized things, because it's very easy just to get guides on anything. If you want to paint a given miniature, there's probably somebody on YouTube who has a video on it. And you can. There's loads of websites dedicated to it as well, and people I think have come to terms with. So going back to those step-by-step guides, if you had a stage where the model looks like a mess, but that is part of the actual process of painting it, in a book, a photograph like that can look really bad. So well, we can't have a photo that looks bad. We've got to make the model look good. So then that makes the guide invalid when you think about it. So whilst on the surface level, it's like, yeah, that's great. The actual substance wasn't so much there. So I think the industry has progressed past that. I think nowadays it's just much more real as to what it's like and what you have to do. On the flip side, because of the internet and social media in particular, you have a lot of amazing painters out there, and it can be very easy to look at their stuff and then look at your own and go, I'm never going to be able to do that.
Demoralizing.
Yeah. So I've known a lot of people who have been demoralized in that way, and especially when it gets worse when they bring their miniatures to the shop and they find that everyone's painting better than them. So that's I really hate that. I really hate someone to feel like they can't join in because they're embarrassed about what they painted. So I don't think it's as bad as what people, what maybe I might think about that, but that aspect certainly is there with social media. But then I think you get out with a lot of things with social media.
You had mentioned the paint pigmentation getting, I guess, more dense and stuff. Is that something special with your new paints? Because I know you've got this brand new line of paint you've been rolling out. I think it started on Kickstarter and totally sold out, and it's going to start arriving in the US, I think, in the next 6 months, 5 months. Is that accurate? You've got this
for retail. It's going to be I don't know exactly when it'll turn up in retail, but it'll be after all the Kickstarter backers have got theirs, and we had confirmation from Transatlantis Games, who are the people actually making the paints. We're the private license, but we got heavily involved with the development of it, but all the distribution is them, and all the US ones have gone out the building. My understanding of it is, so they're on the way. So it'll be soon that everyone will have them. And thank you for everyone for your patience. Just been one thing after another with it, but anyway, the paints are. So when we were developing them, we got really heavily into the actual formulation of them and actually learned quite a lot about what's actually in paints and things. And it's like, wow, stop licking your brushes after you learn all this stuff, let me tell you. Things like getting the coverage is the thing that always used to drive me crazy back in the day, using paints like blood red and stuff. And even nowadays, there's some paints where the way they behave really frustrates me. So if you ever tried painting salamanders and, you've got... Warp Zone Glow is their main color that Games Workshop does, which is a nice color, but the paint's very thin. So it's things like that there's more to it than just the color. There's the way the paint performs. And so in our paints, that was a really big thing that we were heavily involved all the way through. So each one of them had to approve what I'd want it to do.
Perfect.
So they're really fun to use. Everyone who's tried them likes them. So I'm glad they're getting out there now, so more and more people.
And I have had rumors for those listening right now that will be attending or thinking about attending the LVO. I think that we'll have a bunch of those for demo use at the LVO. So you can go there, show up on Thursday or Friday if you want to before your tournaments, and go and play with this brand new paint line so you can see just how good it is. I know Duncan was mentioned to me before the show, and I've talked to one of the guys on the back end about this new paint, and it does seem good to be really, really cool stuff because of this, I guess, high pigment and the way the paint is going to be interacting. So it's not just a beautiful color, it functions really well too. Duncan, we're talking about paint here. What's your favorite paint color to use? I mean, you can use, is there a color that you always go to? You've got a brand new arm and you're like, you know what, I really like this color, and it's always good. You know how to, you never get sick of it. What is that color?
Well, I suppose, so I'm not going to include washers for this.
Okay.
We all know about using brown washers, right? For actual colors, for a long time, I found myself using Rakarth Flesh. Now, I don't particularly know what this is because it's not necessarily like I look at that color and go, I really like that weird sort of browny cream color. But I just find it really useful. It's great for things like parchment, ivory, which of course, and bone, which is going to turn up a lot when you come onto Warhammer miniatures. But also for things that are like historical figures, it's really good canvas color. So it's just a really useful thing for so many things, like padding on armor. Like medieval armor is great for that sort of thing. It works really well as a basis for a white. So if you're doing a color scheme that's going to have white in it, it's fantastic for that. And it's a good alternate. So like when I was doing my House Griffith Knights and they're bone white for the most color, if you want to have a variant on that for heraldry, then Rakarth is just really useful for that. In fact, now I mention it, the desk behind me back over there, we've been painting cultists today and we've been using Rakarth Flesh for the skin. So I don't know why, but I always use it.
There you go, guys. So the Duncan Rhodes' favorite paint color is Rakarth Flesh. I love it. I love it. I was actually just using it yesterday for some dry brushing on the base to pull up the dirt to have a little bit more shine. So I had a dark brown and wanted the top, I guess, coat of yeah. That's a great paint. Do you apply this with your two thin coats?
Oh, sorry, just to add on that, I'm not sure
Yeah.
I'd say it's actually my favorite color. I just seem to use it all the time, so I don't really know. For actual colors, I think I prefer blues, nice deep blues, things like
Nice
Cantor
blues.
blue, that sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. No. And Cantor blue. There's a lot of blues. I was looking through the collection that I have. I can't fathom that there's that many shades of blue in the world, but apparently there are a lot of shades of blue.
Oh, yeah.
Did you because we're talking about applying the paint, two thin coats. That's a term that you're kind of known for. Was that one of your, like, was that an original slogan you came up with? Is this your mantra? Do you have this on a tattoo on your forearm? You know, where'd this come from?
Somehow, no, I don't. I suppose I will sooner or later. I keep joking that's going to be on my tombstone. The family crest. No, it was. I think it's because when we started doing the painting videos, YouTube was still fairly young at that point, and there wasn't really anyone else doing it. So I think because it's just what you do, isn't it? And I knew it because I've been taught this sort of stuff in the studio. So it's just, if someone doesn't tell you and you just going to paint on, you get that horrible finish. It's like, why is that happening? And as soon as you do it as two thin coats, you go, now it looks like what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And this is true for like every paint. Like if you get some household paint, like some emulsion on a tin, it will say you stir well, applies multiple thin coats. So what I found myself doing in the video was in trying to get the tuition across of, all right, so you do this. And it's like going back to those photograph guides I talked about earlier. So you're base coating that bright red for your Blood Angel. The first coat looks rubbish. And it's like, it's okay. It's supposed to look like this. Just apply two thin coats. And the second one, you see when I put that on, it's completely different. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So I think it's just because right place, right time, which I think is the story of my life. I think it just stuck because of that. And so in all the videos, because you had to assume each one was a person's first video, I'd say it in each one. And then people started saying it. So I never thought about it as in, I need a catchphrase. Yeah, I want to be, I've always viewed it as still now, the miniature is the star of the thing. And how do you paint it? Well, you apply your painters of multiple thin coats. And people grabbed that and off it went. So
awesome.
It didn't bother me at all. I think it's very charming. I really like that people, it shows they like the thing. If, fun memes like that are made out of it, it shows that people like it. But it's also the core message, and it means it's sticking in people's heads.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I will never forget it. I think most people in this hobby that have been in this hobby for any period of time have that phrase, memorized for sure. So we got two thin coats as, I guess, a hobby tip. Is there another tip you want to give people that could really level up their hobby skills? Like if there's something like a quick little, hey, I recommend you do this so that you can paint a little bit better, maybe an easy technique. Yes, two thin coats is definitely one of those. Is there another one that you might recommend that people kind of consider?
Yeah. Have a try at painting something without using a wash on a particular detail. So, for example, doing a cloak.
Yeah.
Try painting that whole cloak without using washes, just using different coats of your paint and doing all the shading by manually. Same with painting skin. Try painting it without using washes, and you'll find what it causes you to do is to think more about where your shading's actually going to go, rather than just, I don't want to say cheating it with a wash, but it gets you more in tune with the actual shape of the thing you're doing. And then as you move to the highlights, you'll see suddenly it has a different quality about it. And you'll start to see it looks like more like box art kind of things. So it takes longer to do, certainly. But doing that, I find, is a bit of a sort of penny drop moment of going, oh, okay, so I can improve painting by doing that sort of thing.
I love it, man. I'd never heard that tip before, but I'm going to go try that tonight. Yeah, I mean, because we all become so dependent on the cheat codes, right? The easy button, the wash. And you're right, going back to the foundation and learning, teaching yourself how to become a better painter by slightly taking a little bit more time and focusing. I like that. Okay. So what is the most difficult miniature you've ever painted before? I mean, is there one miniature that you have nightmares of painting?
I've got a few answers to this.
Okay.
So the most difficult and irritating model I can remember painting was Nobblers for the Ogre Kingdoms.
Yes, those little goblin dudes. Yeah,
it's because they were so soft and it was so difficult to do the detail, and they had so many things on them, and there were so many. And I remember it was a store job for us to paint them for the store army, and all of us would be desperately finding anything else to do other than painting these nobblers. It's like, oh, the toilet needs cleaning again. Oh, it's not sparkling, like anything.
Yeah.
At all. It took weeks for this unit to get painted.
Oh,
So that's a very personal
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But in a more professional sense, the bigger models are certainly trickier things. I think the one of the more difficult ones, I mean, there's quite a few. Archaon stands out as simultaneously a very difficult one, but also one that we were really proud of. Because he was such a long-term project. And I can remember the first time we saw the model in the camera studio, and both Roger and I were there looking at it. And so Roger, the chap I work with nowadays, he just slapped me on the shoulder and said, "You got to paint that. Good luck," and walked off. And I was like, "Oh!" I had to, get my pen and paper out and go back and try and work out the theory of painting this thing. And I had one that I could test things, but it was a lot of work to figure all that stuff out and to make it accessible. Just using dry brushing and things. And then we did it, and the model looked amazing. And it's like,
it's done.
That was big pressure. That was.
All right, so we're talking about difficult models. You've in this little interview already, you've mentioned Space Marines a few times, salamanders and whatnot. I mean, at the LVO, you're hosting a seminar of how I paint Marines. So this is a Thursday night before the event seminar, how I paint Marines with Duncan Rhodes. Do you ever get bored painting Marines? You've painted a lot of Marines. I mean, and is armor more challenging to paint than say something that's an organic, a Marine versus an orc? First of all, are you bored with painting Marines because you've been painting these things for years? And are they actually challenging to paint?
I wouldn't say bored. They have so many variations of them. There's always something new with them.
Cool.
I think I found as I've grown, my tastes have gone more towards fantasy and medieval stuff. So I tend not to go for the science fiction armored things these days for my own things. But then when they bring that sort of stuff into Space Marines, because there is that crossover, like the Black Templars, that definitely is more nice. So there's always something new for them. There's always I might think, I'm fed up of painting Space Marines. I've done so many armies of them and stuff. Video on painting a Blood Angel, and in a professional sense, it doesn't matter whether I'm bored of painting Space Marines or not. People want to know how to do that scheme. That's my job. It doesn't matter what I think about it. It's as good as possible. So I painted Blood Angel, and I was like, actually, these heresy models look really good in Blood Angel colors. Some black and gold on them and stuff like that. I could get down with this. Nice. And then you discover there's a Praetor figure that they've made, which I wasn't aware of. I'd completely missed it when it came out. So that's actually pretty cool. And I look over at the Sons of Horus and I'm like, I really do like that green. So just coming around, more Space Marines. So I don't know. They're always doing something new with them. They're always trying something new. I think I definitely prefer the Legion Astartes appearance of them to the 40k Primaris one. I think it's because I like the more retro feel to it. Because that's what I grew up knowing. So I think if I was going to do a Marine army, it would be a heresy one at this stage.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Well, hey, Duncan, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. Do you want to maybe tell people where they can find you, learn more about your academy, learn about your upcoming paint? Of course, they'll see you at the LVO. But is there anything you want to, give us some URLs here or something?
Yeah, sure thing. We got a bunch of things. Let me think. We have our website, I should start with, which is duncanrhodes.com. Please forgive the address being my name. That was Roger's idea. Roger's that I've been working with for like 10 years.
You're not egotistical at all.
I find it really surreal. I'm wearing a shirt with my name on it. Life's gone very weird. But anyway, this is our membership website where we have loads of painting videos. We've got something like 250 now, covering all sorts of subjects, techniques, various skills, of course, complete models, case studies, lots of big models as well. So things that are intimidating, we tend to specialize in those. You can also find us on YouTube at Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy, where you can see a bunch of our videos that we put on there. We upload every 2 weeks, and we put a video like what you see on the website. And we have an Instagram, which is at Duncan J. Rhodes, yes, that's it, where you can see me posting pictures of random things, or the office dog Gizmo doing something cute. Roger and his wife, they've been buying Gizmo little Hawaiian shirts.
I love it. We need to see more photos of dogs in Hawaiian shirts. Gizmo's a great name, by the way.
He looks like a private detective in Miami, Gizmo. But as for the paints, you can find out information about our paints on our website at duncanrhodes.com. We've got a whole section on it, and they're made by Transatlantis Games. If you're interested in more information about it, you can pop over to their site, and their contact details are there. And yes, those paints will be appearing in retail in due course after those wonderful Kickstarter backers get those, though, for whom I am eternally grateful for making it happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, if you want to learn from the master himself in person at the LVO, there's still some more tickets left. Just a few, though, for his classes being taught at the LVO this January. Thank you again, Duncan, for coming on, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Thanks for having me. See you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Duncan, for joining us. We really appreciate it, man. Chat, any questions you have for Kicker, who is there with Duncan virtually?
Seth, why don't you jump into the ITC recap and we'll read the chat for anything popping up.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go right into the recap for your 40K competitive track this week. Your number 1 is still the reigning champ, David Gaylord. Number 2, Vic VJ. Number 3, Manny Chima. Number 4, Jack Harpster. And number 4, Thomas Ogden. And number 5, Jack Harpster. Now, that being said, I believe Nova has not gone in yet, and Jack did win Nova. Is that correct, Dickie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to call out a number 10. We have a Canadian on the board, gentlemen. Number 10, Sam. Sam's on the board. Yep, baby.
And what faction does Sam play? Is it some super overpowered strong faction, right?
No, he plays Blood Angels.
He's a man of conviction. He's sticking with those angels. Yep. So great job, Sam.
Dedicated.
Glad to see you burning up the charts. Into the hobby track, we have our number 1 is Jacob Thayer. Number 2, Aaron Kelman. Number 3, Lou Rollins. Number 4, Eric Mullins. Number 5, Scott Boucher. Sliding on over to the AOS competitive track, our number 1 is Gavin Greigar. Number 2, Jeremy Vizier. Number 3, Anthony Trentinelli. And number 4, Thomas Guan. And number 5, Matt Beasley. And then finally down to the AOS hobby track, our reigning number 1, Robert Snyder. Number 2, Ricky Fisher. Number 3, Matt Beasley. Number 4, Jeremy Wilson. And number 5, Russ Tanner. And that is your ITC recap for this week.
Dude, it's kind of cool to see some characters starting to come out and play, Gavin, he won the ITC for Age of Sigmar last year, and he was kind of off the not really on the charts recently until more recently, and now he's number 1 back at it. So he's in the running now to win ITC 2 years.
He's back at it. He's back at it. Someone's going to have to try to dethrone him.
We got Lou, a longtime 40K hobby track enthusiast. He's up there now. He's got a beautiful, I believe, Space Marine Army, and then of course Jacob is back up there as well. So nice.
Yep, Jacob's back up in the top spot. We already know Jacob's planning his LVO trip, and he's going to be bringing some behemoth of a display board. So if you're anyone on that striking range of trying to catch up to Jacob, you gotta be planning your LVO trip, because that boy's already planning his.
Dude, he's driving from Florida because he needs to bring that battle board, like that display board. Like he has, you can't ship that,
No.
So
this is dedication to the hobby track, my friend. That's what it takes. So if you want to best the Hobby Goblins, Jacob, you gotta bring your A game. So, I mean, to me, that's as much dedication as playing all the competitive lists and trying to learn the top of the game. To jump up to the top of those competitive tracks. So these guys definitely put in the hours and the effort to make that happen. So always glad to see when they turn out. So chat, do you got any questions for tonight before we wrap this one up?
Seth, I'm going to ask you straight up. We were talking about this earlier. We're both working on our Twinsies League of Votann army. That's the game plan. As soon as we get those miniatures, we're going to start building them. What do you think, man? Color wise, you want to tell the audience?
So I've been experimenting in my limited hobby space with doing a predominantly black armor with some gold accents. But I kind of want to do the black with a little bit of purple highlights to it. And then I'm going to do some kind of like lunar basing with purple tufts and crystals and stuff, because they in all the lore they're mining and collecting rare resources, so they're defending their mining fields.
Nice. I like it. Well, chat, find me on Facebook, hit me a message, give me ideas for colors. We're trying to
he's gone through all things. Don't let him do drab colors, chat. I keep telling him he needs to do vibrant colors.
I might have to just go with what I know, which is just Xandri Dust or Death Guard Green and spray and highlight a little bit up from that, because I like it. You got to
do more than that, bud.
I told Seth, but it looks realistic. It looks like you could actually see it out there in the field. And Seth is like, these are space dwarves. There's nothing realistic about these.
Okay, bud. Yeah. So. All right. Well, we've got hot topic. From oh, here we go.
Oh, there
this
we go.
From Dickie himself.
Seth
I think I have seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Votann. I think I honestly, like, if I didn't, I told myself I would not paint this army green because obviously my orcs are green and my Tau's green. And then the Space Marine army that I did as a hobby project a few years back is like a bluish green metallic. So I was like, no green.
Oh. But yeah, somebody has photoshopped Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style League of Votann green.
And look, it's got your tan, your muted.
It's got both colors I like green and tan. And you want to know what's really weird about this whole thing? Is like Ninja Turtles, they were my favorite action figures of all time. Like screw Power Rangers, I could care less about Transformers. Ninja Turtles all the way. So I could totally.
So maybe it's time for the Turtle Votann.
But if this was not already a thing, if somebody had already created this Photoshop, I totally would have done it. But now I feel like
now you got to do it for real.
I got to do it for real. Well, I mean, it's someone else's idea. I can't like just take someone else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Chat is saying that space miners would have bright colors, so if they were floating in the void, they could be easily found.
That makes sense. That does make sense. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Seth, do you want to take us out for the night?
Yep. So thank you so much for joining us. I am going to be away for a few weeks, folks. I have some family matters I need to attend to. So you won't be seeing me for a few weeks. You'll be stuck with Just Kicker and whoever he can drag into the co-host chair. Probably the Tech Priest, but also probably the Sir Val. I believe we'll be seeing a bit of him. So final thoughts for the night, Kicker?
No, I just want to say thanks again to Duncan. It was really awesome having him on and spending some time with us. Guys, can't wait to see you at the next event. It's only a few weeks away. Las Vegas teams in September. All right.
So thank you so much for joining us. We truly hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night.